Hey guys, welcome to Garden Photo Friday. Now this video is a little bit later than I intended because we had a couple things going on throughout the week that didn't allow us to come out into the garden and really enjoy it too much because we were dealing with some other stuff. Specifically, if you've been following us on Instagram and Facebook, our AC went out on us and we were just waiting for a replacement. But dealing with that and keeping the kids as comfortable as possible and ourselves as comfortable as possible, we dealt with a lot of that stuff and we didn't really mess with the garden too much is to not overheat outside and then have to go back inside to a hot house. So we stay a little bit away, but I do have some stuff I do want to show you guys. Specifically, we have a hibiscus, French vanilla hibiscus that I've been waiting for to bloom. It has shown plenty of buds. This one was planted last year and it didn't bloom last year, but this year we're seeing some blooms already and it has plenty of buds just from one single stalk. So we're gonna go ahead and take a photo of that one. I'm gonna use a different lens today. I'm using a 100 to 400 millimeter lens because I want to get a little bit of a different view from this hibiscus here in the garden, and maybe we'll move on to some macros, but I'm gonna try to take as many photos as I can with this lens here. I have an awesome one I do want to share with you later, and I'll talk about that in a bit here. All right, so if you can see me here in the distance, I'm taking a picture of the hibiscus from this side because it's blooming and it's facing this way. And the sun's just barely grazing one of these, so I want to get a good angle of this one. Again, I'm using a bigger, longer lens here to try to get some of that, you know, some of that sharpness and then some of that blown out behind it, but not too much. But I want that focal length to see what it comes out looking like. I'm just experimenting with these lenses a little bit.
Gonna let the sun shine in today. I'm trying to make this darkness go away. I'll paint with colors and I'll sing until my lungs give out.
Try to move over a little bit here to see what it looks like with some of these other flowers behind it.
Open so that I can hear the sound of people talking and the wind blowing in the trees. Oh, I will open up my eyes so I can see the light.
And that one's from really, really far away, but I can zoom in pretty good with this. I think it looks pretty cool being able to zoom from that distance just to see what it looks like with this lens here. Now here's a rose that hasn't made too much of an appearance, and it's called Jubilee Celebration. Not a rose that we're too happy with in the garden here, and I think it's just because of placement, but when it does bloom, it gives some beautiful blooms. I'm gonna go ahead and take a picture of it right now because you can see the sun's just hitting right here perfectly. And again, this is not one of those roses that we show off all the time, but I think it's a great rose to take photos of. And I'm gonna go way back and take a picture of this heuchera because this heuchera is a beautiful, beautiful color to it.
Gonna let the past stay in the cold. Listen to the ocean, let its unsaid words be spoken, and I'll let my mind be carried by the waves. Oh, I will open up my eyes so I can see the light. Oh, and I'll try to spread my wings so I can fly. Oh, and the darkness starts to fade, feels like things are gonna go my way. I'm gonna let the sun shine in the day.
Now I see something interesting in the distance there. I see a hummingbird. And it was gonna be one of the last photos I take with this lens, but I will pop one up here. And it's probably one of the most proudest photos that I've taken so far. And it was of a hummingbird by some of the impatiens in the window box over by the back of the house. And I absolutely love the way I captured it. It didn't take me really no time at all. It's just a lot of patience and waiting for it to come around and seeing what it looks like. And you know, he was observing me, I was observing him. Basically put on a show for me, danced around a little bit and found that perfect spot. And it's actually, there's two of them right now, and I'm waiting for them to slow down to maybe catch them, but I am popping those up right there to show you guys exactly what they look like, because those are beautiful photos that I was able to capture there. But if I'm not able to get this hummingbird, I'm gonna go ahead and switch lenses out now, put the macro lens back on there and see what else we can take here in the garden. All right, so I flipped the camera around It might be a little bit hard to see what I'm doing. It might skip a little bit here, but there are some birds. I do have this lens on here. We have a female cardinal flying around. We have some hummingbirds flying around. So I'm gonna see what I can capture. You might not be able to see what I'm doing because it's gonna be at a distance, but we're gonna see what we can get. Mr. Squirrel coming at me right now. He's just hanging out trying to see what he's gonna come and get. Posing. Trying not to scare him off. He's gone. He's leaving. He's walking away. Well, it's very unfortunate that I can't get these hummingbirds because they don't tend to stay still most of the time. But that's one of the things about capturing wildlife, especially hummingbirds, is that it's all about patience, and can't always have the camera running when these guys are out because you do want to be quiet, you want to respect their space, and you want to go ahead and snap those photos without them really noticing you or you bothering them too much. And sometimes they'll show that mutual agreement of them hanging out while you're out in the garden, which is what we've seen most of the time we're out here. And unfortunately right now there's just a lot of activity going on. There's a lot of birds back there, the squirrels, and that's, unfortunately that's probably the only photo you're gonna get out of this one, is that squirrel that was coming towards me. But a lot of them don't get really too skittish. They just mind their space, and if we're too close they'll walk away. But I was hoping to get the hummingbird, like I said, because it's always a beautiful sight to be able to take photos of those. But I hope you enjoy the ones that I did put out there, because that was actually one of the greatest photos that I've taken so far, for me at least, because I was able to capture it perfectly with that white fence backdrop, and then those red impatiens just absolutely beautiful. So we're gonna go ahead and switch lenses out and take some photos of some other stuff. Let's do that. Okay, so I was about to change lenses, but I don't think I'm going to, and I think the rest of this video is gonna pretty much be about roses, because there's some stuff happening here that I do wanna take photos of, and I think I'm just gonna continue to make the rest of this video about roses that are blooming right now and get photos of maybe 3 or 4 different roses to add to the rest of this video.
People talking, the wind blowing in the trees. Oh, I will open up my eyes so I can see the light. Oh, and I'll try to spread my wings so I can fly. Oh, and the darkness starts to fade. Feels like things are gonna go my way. I'm gonna let the sun shine in the day. I'm gonna let the past be filled with smoke, and I will try to fix what has been broken.
So this rose right here, Teasing Georgia, has been one of those roses that in the beginning of spring produced a whole bunch of buds, and in the beginning of spring we get some perfect light here. Angie likes to call it a golden hour spot, because you can see some of the sunlight right there that's actually moved over this way around this time, and it absolutely lights up this whole area right here, especially when Teasing Georgia is blooming, and that one just looks great right now in the sun. But definitely one of the favorite roses so far to be taking photos of. We're gonna go ahead and move on to another rose here. All right, so another rose we have here is called Also Easy Double Pink, and it blooms in clusters. This one bloomed a whole bunch early in spring, and it has another flush coming out right now. It's putting buds all over the place, but I love the way this one looks. This is a proven winner's variety, and it's more of a very petite bloom, but they just absolutely look beautiful because they cluster up, and that makes it look just even better, and the color is also beautiful.
'Cause I know yesterday ain't coming back. I'm gonna let the past stay in the cold.
Getting a nice shot, and then a couple clusters over here, because it's looking pretty cool with that little cluster right there. It looks almost red, and then the rest of the rose behind it giving off that very bright coral color. Just get the cluster and take this phlox right out of the way there. So I'm not getting anything more but the clusters.
The darkness starts to fade. Feels like things are gonna go my way. Sunshine in the
day. Here's another rose right here. This is Litchfield Angel. This one's been pretty much blooming all year and really hasn't stopped. It's got plenty of buds coming up right here, over here. By far, this one this year has been blooming quite a bit. Now these are starting to fade away, but I think it's still interesting to get some of the photos of these flowers because it's a white rose, and I've been in love with this one all year this year. So let's take a couple of photos.
Oh, and I'll try to spread my wings so I can fly. Oh, and the darkness starts to fade. Feels like things are gonna go my way. I'm gonna let the sun shine in the day.
I absolutely love the way it's kind of drooping down there. There's an insect in there. Might be able to see that one on there, but I love the way it's drooping down there just a little bit. And I don't know how short this video is going to be. It might be a little bit long because I did talk a little bit about the hummingbird and stuff like that, but I'm going to go capture the last rose here, which is going to be Wisley 2008. One of my favorite roses, one of the best scented roses that I've ever had, in my opinion. I know Angie loves different roses, but that's one of my favorite roses. I want to get that one potted up so it blooms a little bit better. We've had that one almost from the very beginning, but it's producing very small cup roses right now, and I want to take a photo of that because I think it looks beautiful. It has a very beautiful scent, so we're going to go over there and take that photo real quick, and that'll be it for this video. We'll close it out real quick after we get done with that one. All right, so as I said, Wisley is not doing too great. It's in a small container. We're going to go ahead and pot that up a little bit, but it does have some blooms here. I'm going to move this away here, the heuchera blooms, so I can get a good shot of it. As you can see, it's a very, very tiny bloom, but it smells absolutely wonderful. I love this one. It looks beautiful. It looks even better when it has a bigger cup. Right now, there's smaller cups, and that's because it needs to be up potted, and that way it can put its full potential up, because we have seen this one bloom pretty big, and it's a beautiful, beautiful bloom. But let's go ahead and take some photos of this one right here, because I love the way it looks.
I'm gonna let the past be filled with smoke, and I will try to fix what has been broken, and take this weight off my shoulders, cause I know yesterday ain't coming back. I'm gonna let the past stay in the cold. I will listen to the ocean, let its unsaid words be spoken, and I'll let my mind be carried by the waves. Oh, I will open up my eyes so I can see the light.
All right, guys, so that's gonna do it for Garden Photo Friday. Try to keep it as short as possible, but again, there's all kinds of things going on. Try to get as many photos as I possibly can. I thought I'd just make it fun here at the end, just taking photos of roses, because I think roses always make my day, and I hope they make your day, especially with the photos that I'm taking, because I absolutely love roses, and I love talking about roses. Both me and Angie love talking about the roses, as you can see in our previous videos of the rose chats. I know we didn't do that this year, and hopefully we get that back to that next year, because we will be moving and probably getting a new garden where we get to plant all new kinds of roses and varieties of roses. So that's something to look forward to. So that's pretty much gonna do it for the video, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed the photos. Stay tuned for next week, Garden Photo Friday, and we'll see you guys in the next video.
Oh, I will open up my eyes so I can see the light.